episode 416 of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. We'll be talking about tonight's episodes of Impact Wrestling on Access TV and Ring of Honor Wrestling on Honor Club. Right here, right now, 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Hello, Wrestling Fanatics. Welcome to tonight's episode where I mentioned on the preview just there I will be talking about tonight's Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor Wrestling on Honor Club for this Thursday night. And let's get right into it. Get started with Impact Wrestling. Tonight's episode was taped this past weekend in London, Ontario, Canada, featuring the fallout from Under Siege. Tonight's commentators: Tom Hannafan and Matthew Raywalt. And first we start things off with highlights of Under Siege with the shocking ending. Bully Ray powerbombing Impact Wrestling president Scott D'Amore through a flaming table. And then we start things off in the Impact Zone with the Impact World Champion Steve Maclin and Bully Ray. And then we see the Motor City Machine Guns come out and they want a tag team match against Maclin and Bully. But Maclin and Bully decline their challenge. And then we see Subculture, and they say if Bully Ray and Steve Maclin do not want to face them, they do. And that is made official for later tonight. The Motor City Machine Guns taking on Subculture. Next up, Eddie Edwards taking on Yuya Uemura, which is a pretty good match here. Edwards has a little help from his wife, Alicia, and it gets the win. And after the match, it looks like Eddie Edwards is going to show some respect to Uemura, but when he goes for the handshake, he pulls his hand away. And our next match here on Impact Wrestling tonight, the Death Machine, Sami Callihan and Jay Christ defeat the Design, Khan, and Angels. And then after the match, it's a 3-on-2 attack. And Rich Swann comes out to make the save. Our next match, Trinity defeats Savannah Evans. And then after the match, Trinity cuts a promo on how she wants the Impact Knockouts Championship, and she calls out the champion Deonna Purrazzo, who successfully defended against Jordynne Grace last Friday night at Under Siege. And then Giselle Shaw and Savannah Evans and Jay Vidal attack both of them. Next up, Jody Threat, who has been on a roll lately in Impact Wrestling, defeats Danny Luna. And in the main event of Impact Wrestling this week, the Motor City Machine Guns defeat Subculture. And that was tonight's episode of Impact Wrestling. And 1 week from this weekend is Against All Odds from Columbus, Ohio, which will be live on Impact Plus, Fight TV, and YouTube for Ultimate Insiders. And then at this time, we go over to Honor Club for Ring of Honor Wrestling this week, which was taped last week in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. And tonight's commentators are Ian Riccaboni and Caprice Coleman. No Nigel McGuinness this week. The Infantry taking on the Kingdom is our opening match on Ring of Honor tonight. The Kingdom, Mike Bennett and Matt Taven, along with the First Lady of Professional Wrestling, Maria Kanellis, get the win in this one. Sky Blue defeated Trish Adora. And the Dark Order are in six-man tag action with Evil Uno, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver taking on the team of the Righteous, Vincent and Dutch, along with Stu Grayson. Last week on Ring of Honor television, Stu Grayson gave them a chance, which was supposed to be a one-time thing, but he is here not only teaming with them again, but also going against the Ring, or against the Dark Order. And Ian Riccaboni does a good job of bringing up on commentary about how Stu Grayson and Evil Uno have been teaming together for nearly 20 years now, going back to the days of the Super Smash Brothers, Player Uno and Player Dos. So this storyline is kind of surprising to me anyway, and the Righteous get the win when Vincent pins Evil Uno. And not too surprised why last night on Dynamite, Stu Grayson was not with them during that backstage segment where they confronted Hangman Adam Page about being hanging out with the Elite now so much. And I don't know if that was just a tease for a storyline that's going to be on AEW TV between the Elite and the Dark Order, but Stu Grayson was not with them last night, and it looks like now the storyline on Ring of Honor television is going to be Stu Grayson with the Righteous. The storyline could be where maybe they could say the Righteous is brainwashing Stu Grayson, turning him against the Dark Order. But Ring of Honor television continues this week. Diamante defeated Promise. Braxton. Brian Cage with Prince Nana in his corner defeats Willie Mack. The NJPW World Television Championship is on the line. Zack Sabre Jr. defeats Rocky Romero via submission in a pretty good match. Action Andretti and Darius Martin defeat the Workhorsemen, the Butcher, the Blade, and Kip Sabian, along with the super bad girl Penelope Ford, win a quick six-man tag squash match. Commander El Hijo del Vikingo and Bandito defeat the Spanish Announce Project. The Ring of Honor Pure Wrestling Championship is on the line. Tetsutori Shibata defeats Alex Coughlin in a very good match, I just want to add. And in the main event of Ring of Honor television this week, the ROH World Women's Championship is on the line. Kiera Hogan challenging Athena. Athena retains here, and then the two continue to brawl after the match, with security coming down to break things up. And as security is separating them, Athena knocks out a couple members of security on the floor. Ian Riccaboni mentions on commentary how Athena will probably be fined for that. So that's tonight's episode of Ring of Honor. Pretty good episode this week. Had some good wrestling as usual. A few really good matches. And overall, this Thursday night, we had 2 good episodes of pro wrestling. Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor. And tomorrow, it's back for the first time. Well, actually, last week was the first time, but... Well, it was Under Siege too, but... Also, tomorrow is just back to the regular scheduled pro wrestling action. We have Friday night SmackDown 8 to 10, and then right after that AEW Rampage. And that's all for this episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. It is very much appreciated. Remember, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or anything you want to say, you can leave them right here in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of this Thursday night pro wrestling we had, Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor. Also, if you want to advertise with 360 Wrestling Podcast, right here on 360 Wrestling Fanatic and Good Morning Wrestling Fans, you can email me at 360wrestlingpodcast@gmail.com. I will also put the email in the description as well. And I'll try to do a good read for your product or your service. Once again, that's 360wrestlingpodcast@gmail.com. And hope to have new episodes of 360 Wrestling Fanatic up here real soon coming at you. And tomorrow morning for the Friday morning episode of GMWF. And that's all for tonight. I will talk to you tomorrow morning. But until then, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.